When a woman is in love but scared to show it, the very first sign you will notice is that her energy shifts the moment you enter her space. Energy doesn't lie. Words can be controlled. Actions can be masked. But energy is pure and unfiltered. When someone truly cares, their entire being responds in ways they cannot completely suppress. You will see it in the way her body language softens, the way her presence feels more alive, and the subtle electricity in the air. Whenever she is near you, she may not announce a feeling, but you will sense the difference between how she interacts with others. That difference is the language of her soul, speaking without permission from her mind. Her energy rises, even if she tries to cover it with indifference. Fear may keep her lips sealed, but energy is always honest, and it leaks through every glance, every pause, every moment of stillness she shares with you. Think about it. When someone is indifferent, there is no shift, no vibration, no spark. The atmosphere remains neutral. But when love is hiding beneath the surface, you will notice subtle sparks that light up the room. She may speak in the same tone. She may keep her words casual, but her nervous louder, her heightened awareness of your presence, the way she fidgets or becomes unusually quiet. All of these are signs of a storm of emotions she is trying to manage. Her energy betrays her attempts at self-control. It is not just about what she says. It is about how her entire state changes in your presence. She might feel more alive, more aware, and more alert. Even when she tries to look away, the energy of attraction pulls her back toward you. You may find her giving more attention to the details of her appearance. When she knows she will see you, even if she plays it off as coincidence. She may choose words carefully, not because she doesn't know what to say, but because her emotions are working overtime to protect her heart from exposure. That is fear blending with affection. She doesn't want you to know too much too soon, because the vulnerability being exposed is frightening. And yet her energy shifts so much that you can feel something is different. Love has a way of making people conscious of themselves. She may notice the way she moves, the way she laughs, or the way she responds, because deep down she doesn't want to make a mistake that gives her feelings away. But ironically, that very consciousness is what reveals the truth. The more she tries to control, the more obvious it becomes that something is being hidden. That is why energy becomes the clearest indicator. When she is around others, she might be calm, relaxed, even careless. But when she is around you, she is more focused, more careful, more present. That shift in presence is the subconscious expression of love trying to break free from fear. There may be times when she becomes overly talkative around you, filling every silence with words, because silence feels too intimate. Other times she may become unusually quiet, letting silence linger longer than usual, because her emotions are stronger she can manage. Both extremes are expressions of the same energy shift. It is not about the quantity of words. It is about the intensity of her presence. Even the simplest moments, like the way she looks up when you speak, or the way her body leans in slightly, or how her eyes hold you a little longer than necessary, are all fragments of her truth slipping out. She may also try to mask these feelings with subtle distractions. She might joke too much, redirect conversations, or pretend she is uninterested. But no matter how hard she tries to act like nothing is happening, energy refuses to be disguised. You will notice her body giving away signals. Her breathing changes, her gesture softens, her smile appears without her realizing it. She might roll her eyes at her own reactions, but that resistance only proves there is something deeper she is fighting. Love and fear often dance together in the same space. One wants to be expressed, the other wants to be protected. And it is in that tension where you notice the shift most clearly. Pay attention to how she reacts when you walk into the room. Does her posture change? Does she suddenly become more engaged or more withdrawn? Does she start adjusting her hair, her clothes, her tone? These micro expressions reveal the depth of her feelings more than grand gestures ever could. She is scared of being seen too clearly, yet her energy keeps radiating her secret. The eyes especially are impossible to disguise. She might glance quickly away, but in those brief moments, you will catch a reflection of the emotion she is trying to hold back. Her eyes will sparkle differently. Her focus will sharpen. And sometimes her gaze lingers as though her heart overpowers her restraint. It is not unusual for her to create moments where she can be near you without making it obvious. She may arrange her presence in subtle ways, appearing where you are, joining conversations you are in, or finding reasons to be close. The surface explanation may look ordinary, but the energy underneath carries intention. She may not be bold enough to declare it, but her very being is drawn to you. Energy is magnetic, and when someone is in love but afraid, that magnetism becomes the most honest clue you will ever notice. She might even get flustered or irritated around you, not because she dislikes you, but because her emotions are overwhelming and fear makes her defensive. That irritation is often a mask for intensity. Sometimes the most complicated signals come from someone who feels the deepest but struggles to reveal it. Her energy feels heavier, richer, more intense. You can sense in the pauses, in the hesitations, in the way her presence feels different than anyone else's. When she is in love but scared, she is torn between wanting you to know and needing to protect herself. That inner conflict creates the exact shift you notice. She may never openly say the words, but her entire being is speaking in frequencies that cannot be hidden. That is why when she is near you, the air feels different, time feels slower, and even the smallest interaction feels amplified with unspoken meaning. Her fear may keep her silent, but her energy will always tell a story her lips refuse to share. When a woman is in love but too scared to show it, one of the clearest signs is the way she guards her vulnerability. Love has a unique way of unlocking emotions that run deeper than logic, but fear steps in to shield the heart from exposure. When she feels something real, something powerful, her instinct isn't always to declare it openly. Instead, she retreats behind protective walls. These walls aren't built because she doesn't want you. They exist because she wants you so much that the thought of losing you or being rejected by you terrifies her. Vulnerability means putting her heart in someone else's hands, and that level of surrender can feel like too much risk. So she chooses to guard her emotions, hiding them in layers of controlled silence, and sometimes even misdirection. You may notice she doesn't let you in fully, even when it feels like she wants to. She may laugh at your jokes, spend time with you, even share glimpses of her inner world, but the deeper truths, the raw emotions remain locked away. This is her way of protecting herself from pain. If she reveals too much, she risks rejection. She risks disappointment. She risks giving you the power to hurt her. And so she keeps certain parts hidden, waiting to see if you're safe enough to trust. That guardedness doesn't mean the love isn't there. It often means the love is so strong that the thought of losing it becomes unbearable. When she guards her vulnerability, she becomes careful with her words. She may choose not to express her admiration directly. She may hold back from saying how much she enjoys your presence. Instead, she'll keep conversations balanced, never fully showing just how much she values your company. This restraint is not a lack of feeling, but a defense mechanism to protect her heart. She doesn't want to expose the depth of her emotions too quickly because she fears it might overwhelm you, or worse, leave her standing alone if you don't feel the same way. Her vulnerability also shows in the way she responds to affection. If you compliment her, she may deflect it, laugh it off, or quickly change the subject. Not because she doesn't appreciate it, but because acknowledging it directly would mean opening a door to feelings she's not ready to lay bare. Accepting love openly feels dangerous when fear is in control. So instead, she plays it safe, hiding her excitement behind composure. Inside, though, her heart is racing, and every word you say resonates louder than you could imagine. There are moments when you will see her battle between wanting to express and needing to conceal. She may start to say something meaningful only to cut herself off or disguise it as a casual remark. That hesitation, that pause in her voice, her heart pulling forward while her fear drags her back. She is in love, but she is terrified of what revealing it might cost. So she covers it with jokes, distractions, or silence. But underneath those layers, you can feel the tension of something greater struggling to come out. Guarding vulnerability also shows in her actions. She may keep her distance emotionally even while she remains physically present. She might hesitate to lean on you for support even when she wants to. She might avoid asking for too much because asking would expose her need for you. She may choose to handle things on her own, not because she doesn't trust you, but because needing you means admitting how deeply you matter. Vulnerability and dependence are frightening when love is real because they carry the possibility of loss. Another way this guardedness reveals itself is in the inconsistencies. One moment she might seem open, laughing freely, sharing details of her life and making you feel deeply connected. The next moment she may retreat, become distant, or act indifferent. That push and pull is not confusion. It is fear at work. It is her way of keeping her heart safe while still allowing herself glimpses of closeness. It is as if she wants to step into love, but also needs to keep one foot outside the door, just in case it doesn't work out. Her guarded nature also makes her cautious about who knows her feelings. She won't easily reveal her emotions to friends or family. She keeps her affection for you hidden in subtle ways, perhaps even downplaying her connection with you when others bring it up. This isn't about shame or secrecy, it's about control. The fewer people who know, the less exposed she feels, the less pressure there is, and the less chance of facing the pain of rejection in a public way. Her heart feels safer in silence than it does in exposure. Sometimes guarding vulnerability even looks like avoidance. She might avoid situations that would force her to reveal how much she cares. She might turn down opportunities to spend time together in ways that feel too intimate, not because she doesn't want to, but because being too close might break down her walls. Distance becomes her shield. She allows herself just enough connection to feel your presence, but not enough to risk losing herself completely. Deep down, though, her guardedness is a reflection of love. If she didn't care, she wouldn't need to hide anything. If she felt nothing, she wouldn't worry about protecting her heart. It is precisely because she feels so much that she chooses to keep it under wraps. Fear and love are wrestling within her, and fear often wins the battle in the beginning. But if you look closely, you'll see that every guarded smile, every measured response, every carefully constructed wall is actually proof that her feelings run deeper than she wants you to know. When a woman is in love but too scared to show it, her actions often speak louder than her silence. She may not come out and say the words. She may even act as if nothing special is happening, but her behavior tells a story her lips refuse to share. It is in the small details, the subtle patterns, the way she shows up consistently without needing recognition. Love has a way of leaking into everyday gestures, and even though fear might keep her from confessing directly, her actions reveal more truth than any confession could. You will notice the little ways she prioritizes you, the way she invests her time and energy, the way she makes herself available without announcing it. Silence may keep her safe, but her consistency exposes the depth of what she feels. She may not tell you how much she admires you, but you'll see it in the way she supports you. Maybe she remembers the smallest details you've mentioned, things you may have forgotten you even said, and she brings them back at the right moment. That level of attention is not casual. People don't invest memory and energy into someone they don't value deeply. She may never say, "I care about you," but she shows it by being there in moments that matter. Whether it's checking in when she knows you've had a long day or celebrating small wins with you, her behavior is her love letter, written in actions rather than words. Sometimes her love shows through in the sacrifices she makes quietly. She may change her schedule to align with yours, choose to spend time with you even when it requires effort, or put aside her own preferences to make sure you're comfortable. She doesn't broadcast these sacrifices because that would expose too much. But if you look closely, you'll notice the adjustments she makes just to be part of your world. Fear may keep her from admitting her love openly, but fear cannot stop her from showing it in the way she gives her time and energy. Even in silence, there are clues. She might sit quietly while you speak, listening with undivided attention, making you feel as if your words matter more than anything else in that moment. Listening deeply is an act of love, especially in a world where most people are too distracted to pay attention. Her silence in those moments isn't distance, it's devotion. She doesn't need to fill the space with words because her presence itself is her statement. She wants to hear you, to understand you, to connect with the things that matter to you. And that is her way of saying, "You are important to me," without letting the words escape her lips. She may also express her feelings through protection. You might notice her caring about your well-being in subtle ways, reminding you to eat, encouraging you to rest, showing concern when you're stressed or overwhelmed. These may seem like small gestures, but they carry the weight of love hidden under practicality. A woman who isn't invested won't bother with such details. When she takes the time to worry about you, when she checks and not because she has to, but because she wants to, that is love speaking through action. There are also the unplanned, unconscious gestures that reveal her heart. The way she mirrors your movements without realizing it. The way she laughs a little louder at your jokes. The way her body leans toward you even when she tries to maintain distance. These aren't rehearsed. They're instinctive. They come from a place deeper than thought, a place where feelings overflow into physical expressions. She may not even notice she's doing them, but to the attentive eye, these little signals are undeniable. Sometimes her actions show in her loyalty. Even if she keeps things casual on the surface, you'll notice she doesn't treat you like just another person. She shows respect for your time. She keeps your conversations private. She doesn't let others speak badly about you. Her silence might make you question her feelings, but her loyalty proves them. When a woman truly cares, she guards your name, your presence, and your connection even when no one is watching. That kind of protection is not casual. It is born of love. Another powerful way her actions speak is in the way she makes space for you in her future, even if subtly. She may ask questions that hint at long-term thinking. She may invite you into parts of her life that are personal. She may include you in plans without making a big announcement of it. These little integrations show that in her heart, you're not temporary. She's imagining possibility, even if fear won't let her say them out loud. Her silence is not emptiness. It is a shield. But inside that shield, her actions keep slipping out, revealing the truth. Fear might stop her from confessing directly, but she cannot control the way she shows up, the way she remembers, the way she protects, the way she gives. That is why you must pay attention, not to what she says, but to what she does. Her words may remain guarded, but her actions are pure, and through them, her love is constantly reaching out, even in the silence she uses to hide. When a woman is in love but scared to show it, one of the clearest behaviors you will notice is the way she tests your depth. This testing isn't always deliberate in the way it might seem, but it is rooted in her need to feel safe before she can completely open her heart. Love exposes a person to incredible vulnerability, and for someone who has been hurt before or who fears rejection, safety becomes the most important foundation. She doesn't want to give everything away, only to realize later that you are not genuine or that your intentions don't match her hopes. So she creates little challenges, subtle barriers, and sometimes even contradictions to see how you respond. These tests are not about manipulation. They are about protection. They are her way of measuring whether your presence is strong enough to handle the weight of her trust. She may start by observing how patient you are. When she pulls back, delays responding, or takes longer to reveal things about herself, she is not always being distant for the sake of it. She is watching how you react to her silence. Do you pressure her, or do you allow her space? Do you lose interest, or do you remain steady? These small pauses are her way of seeing whether you are consistent enough to stay even when things are not flowing smoothly. If you can handle those moments without frustration, you prove that your interest is deeper than surface level attraction. Another way she may test you is by asking questions that dig beneath the surface. She might casually throw in topics about loyalty, about how you see relationships, about what you value most in life. She is not asking because she doesn't know what to talk about. She is asking because she wants to measure the depth of your thinking, your principles, and your alignment with her unspoken desires. Sometimes these questions sound casual, but the answers matter deeply to her. They help her determine whether you are someone she can truly risk her heart with. You may also notice her challenging your consistency. She might act indifferent at times to see if you still put in the effort. She may withhold certain gestures of affection to see whether you are truly invested or whether your interest fades when things aren't easy. These aren't games meant to confuse you. They are boundaries designed to protect her from disappointment. For her, your reaction to those moments is more revealing than any words you could ever say. If you remain steady when she steps back, she starts to believe that your presence might actually be trustworthy. She may test you emotionally as well. There are times when she might share something vulnerable, not the full story, but just a piece of it, to see how you respond. If you dismiss it, she takes it as a sign she cannot open up fully. If you handle it with care, she takes it as evidence that you are capable of holding space for her truth. Every small test is a building block in her process of learning whether you are safe enough to receive her love without breaking it. Sometimes her tests come in the form of observing how you treat others. She may watch closely when you interact with strangers, when you talk about your past, when you handle moments of pressure. She is not only looking at how you treat her, she is looking at whether your character holds steady in every part of your life. A man who is kind only when he wants something or respectful only when it benefits him will eventually reveal his weakness. A man who carries consistency everywhere shows reliability, and that reliability is what she is searching for before she lets her guard down. There will be times when she seems to create unnecessary distance. She might ignore a message, cancel a plan, or appear less interested for a while. On the surface, it feels like rejection, but in reality, she may be measuring how you respond to the gap. Do you give up easily, or do you remain calm and steady? Do you take it personally, or do you show patience? That distance is her way of testing whether you are someone who only stays when it's convenient, or whether you are someone who can withstand the uncertainty that comes with real love. She may also test your intentions by challenging your words. If you say something about your feelings, she might respond with doubt or tease you as if she doesn't believe you. She is not trying to dismiss you. She is trying to see if your words hold weight when challenged. Empty promises collapse under pressure, but genuine intentions remain unshaken. By questioning you, she gives herself the chance to see whether your energy is authentic or if it crumbles when faced with resistance. These tests can sometimes feel frustrating, but they are not designed to push you away. They are her way of drawing out the truth. She knows that words can be sweet, appearances can be deceiving, and intentions can be disguised. Actions, however, reveal what words cannot. Her tests are her way of separating temporary interest from genuine commitment. She wants to see if you are grounded enough to handle the reality of her love, not just the idea of it. At the core of all her tests is one simple question: can she trust you with her heart? Love makes her feel exposed, and fear demands proof before she takes the risk. That is why she will challenge you, pull away, question your words, and observe your behavior. Every test is her attempt to find reassurance that you are strong enough, consistent enough, and patient enough to hold her love without betraying it. When a woman is in love but scared to show it, one of the most undeniable signs is found in the way she watches you more than she speaks. Words can be hidden, confessions can be delayed, but the eyes often reveal truths that the heart is trying so hard to keep contained. When feelings are intense, the gaze becomes longer, softer, more focused, and more deliberate. She may not come out and tell you directly what you mean to her, but you will notice the way her attention lingers on you when she thinks no one is paying attention. There is a kind of quiet study in her observation, a careful awareness of who you are, how you carry yourself, and how you interact with the world. This silent watching is her way of connecting without exposing too much, of living in the safety of distance while still satisfying the pull of attraction that she cannot escape. Her eyes will often betray what her lips refuse to say. She might glance at you across the room, only to quickly look away when your eyes meet. That momentary connection, followed by retreat, is a clear sign of both interest and fear. She wants to look, she wants to take you in, but she's also terrified of being caught in her own vulnerability. The eyes don't lie. And even when she forces herself to look elsewhere, the sparkle, the shift, the intensity of her gaze already revealed the truth. Sometimes her observation isn't even conscious. It's instinctive. The heart directs the eyes, and before she even realizes it, she finds herself watching you, drawn to you as if by a force stronger than her will. You may notice her attention to detail. She remembers the smallest things about you, not because you told her to, but because she studied you closely enough to notice. The way you laugh, the phrases you repeat, the way you react to certain situations, she takes it all in. People don't remember small details about everyone, but when someone is quietly in love, they cannot help but absorb every little thing about the one they care for. It becomes natural for her to notice when something is different, when you're quieter than usual, when your mood shifts. Her watchfulness is her way of staying connected. Even when she lacks the courage to speak openly, she might also study how you treat others. Part of her watching is not just about admiring you, but about assessing you. She wants to know if the kindness you show her is consistent with the way you treat the people around you. She observes your character in action, how you respond under pressure, how you speak about others, how you carry yourself when no one is demanding your attention. This quiet observation is her test of your authenticity. She wants to know if you are truly the kind of person she can trust before she allows herself to break down the walls of fear. Sometimes her gaze carries a softness that words could never match. There's a tenderness in the way she looks at you when you're not watching, almost as if she's memorizing you. Fear may keep her from confessing directly, but her heart can't resist the pull of staring at the one it desires. If you pay attention, you'll catch her eyes resting on you a little longer than necessary, her smile forming in response to your presence, her expression softening in ways she doesn't show to others. This is love working silently through the eyes, bypassing the mind's defenses. But her watching isn't always obvious. Sometimes it's subtle, almost hidden. She may choose the seat that gives her a clear view of you. She may find excuses to look in your direction without drawing attention to it. Even when she pretends to be focused elsewhere, part of her awareness remains anchored on you. She listens when you speak, even in group settings, and her reactions are slightly more attuned to your words than to anyone else's. She is silently tuned in, allowing her presence to connect with yours without the risk of exposing her feelings outright. Fear keeps her from speaking because speaking feels permanent, irreversible, exposing. But watching allows her to experience the connection in a way that feels safer. She can admire without risk. She can study without consequence. She can feed her heart's longing without having to confront the vulnerability of rejection. Yet the irony is that her silence speaks louder than any confession. The intensity of her gaze, the focus of her attention, the quiet way she orients herself toward you, all of it becomes a language of love more powerful than words. You may also notice how her watchfulness shows up in moments of care. She sees things about you that others overlook. She notices when you're uncomfortable, when you're distracted, when something weighs on you. She won't always call it out, but her awareness reveals itself in subtle actions like offering help at the right time or creating space for you when you need it. She sees because she is always watching, always tuned into your energy, always paying closer attention than she admits. There is something almost magnetic about the eyes when love is present but unspoken. She may try to guard her words, but her gaze pulls her back to you again and again. Even in conversations with others, she might glance toward you unconsciously as if her heart needs reassurance that you're still there. This is the essence of love mixed with fear, the desire to stay close without stepping too far into vulnerability. Watching you is safer than telling you, but the depth of her watching says everything she is too afraid to confess. When a woman is in love but scared to show it, one of the most telling signs is that she will sometimes create distance to measure your pull. This distance isn't always intentional in the way it appears, but it is deeply tied to her inner conflict between desire and fear. On one hand, she feels the gravity of her emotions pulling her towards you, but on the other hand, fear warns her of the risks that come with vulnerability. The result is a push and pull dynamic where she might step back, withdraw, or act cold, not because she has lost interest, but because she wants to see if the connection holds strong even when she is not actively nurturing it. She wants to know if your presence in her life is genuine enough to remain steady when she is not making it easy. This distance can take many forms. She might delay responding to your messages, or she may suddenly become less available, even though previously she made time with ease. She could pull away from deep conversations, avoid situations that feel too intimate, or give the impression that she is less invested than before. At first glance, this might look like rejection, but it is often the opposite. It is her way of asking silently, will you still be here if I step back? She wants to know if your pull toward her is strong enough to bridge the gap she creates out of fear. In creating distance, she is protecting herself. Love requires surrender, and surrender requires trust. If she is not sure yet that she can trust you fully, the safest way for her to test that is by stepping back and observing what happens next. If you disappear the moment she withdraws, it confirms her fears that you were only there for convenience. But if you remain calm, steady, and patient, she begins to believe that your interest is this deeper than the surface. This distance is not rejection. It is a test of stability, of consistency, of your ability to remain present without constant validation. Often, she creates distance because she wants to slow things down. When emotions run high, it can feel overwhelming. The intensity of attraction and love can scare her because it makes her feel out of control. By pulling back, she tries to regain balance, to ground herself in something familiar, to prevent herself from falling too fast. This retreat is her way of catching her breath, not her way of cutting the cord. She may avoid contact for a short time, not because she doesn't want it, but because she needs to convince herself that she is safe in what she feels. Sometimes this distance is subtle. She might still be around you, but emotionally withdraw, keeping conversations light, avoiding eye contact, or distracting herself with other people or activities. It looks like detachment, but underneath it, she is very much aware of your presence. She is waiting to see if you notice, if you care enough to reach out, if your pull toward her is strong enough to close the space she has created. In her silence and retreat, she is asking for proof of your consistency. At times, her distance may even come across as coldness or irritation. She might act like she doesn't care, or she may put up a front of indifference. But this is often a mask, a way to shield her heart from the risk of being seen too clearly. It is easier for her to act uninterested than to let her vulnerability show. Yet behind that mask, she watches how you respond. Do you withdraw as well? Or do you remain present in a steady, calm way? Do you match her indifference? Or do you offer patience that makes her feel safe enough to return? These are the unspoken questions she is asking through a distance. Creating distance also helps her measure how much you truly value her presence. If she steps away and you hardly notice, she learns that her place in your life might not be as meaningful as she hoped. But if her absence creates a shift in you, if you make the effort to bridge the gap with calm reassurance, she recognizes that her presence matters to you. That recognition allows her to slowly lower her guard and come closer because she begins to feel the safety she was looking for in the first place. You will also find that her distance doesn't last forever. It is cyclical. She pulls away, she measures, and then she drifts back when she secures her. Again, this rhythm is not about manipulation. It is about survival. It is her attempt to balance the fear of losing herself with the desire to give herself. The stronger the love she feels, the stronger the fear of loss becomes. Distance is her way of negotiating with that fear, of reminding herself that she can still hold control. But the fact that she always drifts back shows that her love remains alive beneath the surface. At the core of it, when she creates distance, what she truly wants is reassurance. She wants to feel your steady energy reaching for her even in silence. She wants to know that your pull is not dependent on her constant presence. She wants to see that you value her not only when she is fully engaged, but also when she hesitates, doubts, or fears. This distance is her silent method of seeking proof that the bond between you is real, that it can survive the test of space and silence, that it can endure even when her fear gets the better of her.